This is an interesting guy. You wait and see. This guy is fascinating.
I'm Mike Dunafon, and this is ShotgunWilliesTV.com. Revenge porn law.
A junk shop? You didn't tell me about this place. You just said, come out here and do a TV show. I was like this most of the time.
And there was this toilet seats, paper toilet seats. I'm like, oh my God, I'm staying in this country.
We're going to get into some tough questions.
I'm out about the war on drugs is lost. We're corrupting everything.
I'm saying it's not a baby yet.
But what the hell do you think it is?
The firearms had always been a personal passion of mine.
I bought an AK-47 Gatling gun. Would you say that President Kennedy was a liberal or conservative?
That's a tough one.
The first rule of living forever, don't die. We may be looking at life expectancies measured in centuries. We're not going to be 150 and be old. We're going to be 150 and we're going to still be young. So we're making biology a digital technology.
Put them in those machines that the Terminator got smashed in.
Come find out what liberty really means at ShotgunWilliesTV.com. Welcome to ShotgunWilliesTV.com. I'm here with a great friend, an old friend, Tom Tancredo, four-term congressman and person who stepped out on the ledge at the request of his 9th grade civics class. He was the first congressman, the only congressman, to come out advocating stopping a bad idea that has killed 70,000 Mexicans on the border, the war on drugs. So what did Congressman Tancredo get for his effort? Well, in his run for governor in the primary this year, after going out and getting 10,000 petition signatures signed, he got his own party to come up against him. Some of the stalwarts in that party said, Tom wants to turn your children into heroin addicts, crackheads. Tom, I applaud you, by the way, for taking the tough hits. We're going to get into some tough questions about what we disagree in. Of course you would.
I'm sorry, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Tough questions.
You're going to finish this cigar. If you don't finish that cigar,
it's way past my bedtime.
How do we conscience the idea that our own party, and it was my party, it is no longer, would, at a national level, pour millions of dollars into a campaign to defeat the lone voice of reason in Colorado? What happened?
Well, oh, wow, it was really one of those. I mean, I've run now 10 races and won 8, and I will tell you it's a lot more fun to win them. But this was by far the most bizarre, the most peculiar, because not only did I have not only was I being attacked by Democrats, of course, during this whole thing, even in the primary, but attacked by Republicans, attacked by libertarians, attacked by pro-marijuana people, attacked by anti-marijuana people, and it was much of it revolved around, in the Republican Party anyway, it revolved around my position on immigration. It really did. Because you have to understand, right now, Mike, we have a situation on the border and everybody's paying attention to it. And it has catapulted the immigration issue back up to #1 concern among most people who answer the questions, right? Well, that's all well and good, except for the fact that it will not change anything. The fact that there is that kind of that level of angst about it, forget about it. And the reason why it won't change is, now I say this, what will be the most significant effect of the present problem on the border is that there will be no amnesty this time around in the legislature. But what does that mean, Mike? What it means is the status quo. And the status quo suits the elites in both parties just fine. The status quo means open borders. It means massive immigration of people who don't want to actually assimilate into American society. And we tell them not to, by the way, once they get here. So when Democrats look at that phenomena of massive immigration, both legal and illegal, of people who are not assimilating into American society, they see undocumented Democrats, okay? Voters replenishing their voter pool. When the Republicans look at that same phenomena, they see cheap labor. Hence, you've got the Chamber of Commerce on the Republican side beating up every Republican. And in Colorado, that was where that whole thing started against me. Most of the ads that were run were paid for by home builders. Ads against me were paid for by home builders and other Republicans who did not want me talking about that issue. And what they used was my support for Amendment 64 as the way to attack me in the Republican primary. Because they knew if I made it through the primary, that issue, the fact that I am certainly a liberty guy and believe that this is a freedom issue, that would give me a leg up against any other Republican, and in the general election, a leg up against the Democrat.
Well, Tom, let me ask you a question. One of the toughest borders in the world is the southern border of Mexico.
Oh.
They arrest people at an alarming rate.
Right, they round them up.
Like
they put them on, they put them on the boxcars, right? They've done that for years. They are very, very serious. So you have to ask yourself, how in the world did several 100,000 people wake up one day in South and Central America and say, you know what? I think we should head to America. And by the way, we're going to have to go through Mexico, which is usually not a very good idea. I mean, not only is the government pretty concerned about that southern border, but then once you get in, the cartels take over.
What can we do as liberty-loving Americans to assimilate these people into the American ideal, the one they believe in? Because it turns out that the people who still believe in America are outside this country, not inside the country. Yeah. What do we do? How do we assimilate?
Okay. This is the ultimate question that anybody has to ask themselves when they deal with this issue. By the way, I think the immigration issue is perhaps the most significant public policy issue with which we can deal, because it has implications for everything in our society. Everything. And so that's why I have paid so much attention to it over the years. And I will tell you that I have nothing. This is not a racial issue for me. It never has been. Never. Race has got nothing to do with this immigration problem. If Italy was on our southern border and had the same economic problems as does Mexico, we would see Italians flowing into Sicily. Yeah, you bet. They'd be coming in, boy, by the thousands, by the millions. Immigration is a geographic and economic problem. That's what it is. And then when it comes into a country in massive numbers, it becomes a cultural problem because of this issue of assimilation. In America, we have had periods of very high immigration, periods of very low, periods of very high, periods of very, it's been cyclical, except for the last 40 some years. It has been nothing but an upward thing. Chain migration simply means that you get here, you get status, and the person coming is usually almost 90% low income. They get here, and who can they bring in? Their family, their immediate family. They bring them in, and then it just goes out from there. So that's chain migration. It's got nothing to do with our needs as a society, as a country.
And I could add to that. Why aren't you, as an Italian, second generation? Why aren't you speaking Italian?
My parents, who were first generation, could not speak 5 words of Italian because their parents, who were immigrants, said, you speak what they would call it. They'd always, my grandmother would go, speak American, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Language and culture go together. Language, here's the thing. In America today, we have a million things that pull us apart because we are a very diverse society. And it can be a strength, it can be a weakness. The diversity that we tout, that we showed the world as being, you know, the great thing about America. We are so diverse. It's good except for the fact that you can't have diversity as being the only thing that holds you together. It's an oxymoronic thought, right? And so what you need...
I hate everything about you. It makes me love you.
Yeah, well, you need something that holds us together. We need something that pulls everybody together, or we will be, and in fact we are becoming, a balkanized society.
Thank you, Tom Tancredo.
Thank you, Mike Dunafon.
ShotgunWilliesTV.com.
Great fun.